Hello, everybody, and welcome to our first episode of Magnum Opus. Hope everybody's excited. I am Eve Smith, and I will be GMing tonight. Let's go ahead and start off with Megan. Go ahead and introduce yourself, name, pronouns, as well as your character.
All right, I am Megan, she, her, and I am playing Sienna, who is a luminous, so she's like light given form, I believe. And they use she, they pronouns. And she's a scientist. They're a scientist.
Acer.
Hello, I'm Acer, he, him, and I will be playing Block, also he, him, just your average mercenary soldier.
Luca.
Hello, I'm Luca, he, they, and I will be playing Garrett Mogg, who's he, him. He's a security officer and a gnome, and he takes his job very seriously.
And last but not least, Waffles.
Hi, I'm Waffles from Waffles Maple Syrup. He, him. I will be playing Arvo, the little godling intelligence officer who is also he, him.
All right, and before we get started, tonight we are brought to you by Roll20, and I will be using it significantly more extensively than we usually use it in the show, but that's mostly because I tend to put a lot more. Anytime I have to set up a map, I put way too much work into it. As well as Sirenscape, so all this spooky ambient that you're hearing in the background, that would be from Sirenscape. So if you want to get some neat stuff like that, just really get that itching of paranoia in the back of people's heads as they are playing, certainly a way to go. So go check them out. And I think that's it. Yeah, so let's get right into it. Alarms are blaring. A middle-aged Umi elf woman in a lab coat lays in rubble. A deep gash slowly bleeds on her forehead. Nearby, someone is screaming. Her gold eyes snap open. She sits up and slowly pulls herself to her feet, wincing from a broken rib. Next to her, a scientist is desperately performing CPR on a security guard. Around her, the lab is barely recognizable. She steps over a severed leg. The screaming hasn't stopped. She pauses in front of a shattered subject stasis tube. She catches her reflection in the ID plate protruding from the broken glass. 4 vertical lines of blood carve trails through the dirt on her face. She lifts up the plate, considers it for a moment, and then presses it into the chest of a passing researcher. Bring me everything we have on Subject 37, right now. She turns to look through the large hole in the wall, leading to further destruction deeper in the facility. Slowly, her face transitions to an image being projected on the wall of a dark conference room. A goblin approaches the podium. They adjust their glasses and clear their throat. This is Dr. Vivica Crenshaw. 8 months ago, following an escape incident involving the project she was heading, she stole a large quantity of vital research and lab equipment. It is believed that Dr. Crenshaw's intent was to continue research outside of company oversight. As of 2 days ago, we have successfully tracked her down to Deployment Outpost 106. You might know it as the Well. The administrator has approved an operation to retrieve the hijacked research and extract Dr. Crenshaw for performance review. Star will be deploying junior researcher Sienna to assess and identify the research documents. Megan, if you could go ahead and describe your character. Oh, you're muted.
Sorry, I'm trying to save you from the sound of a dog loudly chewing on a bone. Sienna is I'm hoping I'm getting this right. So she is like a humanoid shaped solid light. They vaguely change colors depending on their mood, but they tend to always be glowing softly.
All right. Where was I? I totally lost my spot. In addition, we will be sending 3 security officers for protection and detainment: Krell Rupert, Aoife Talk, and Garrett Mogg. Luca, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hello. Garrett Mogg is a gnome, a fallen gnome, is a little over 3 feet tall, wiry, but he clearly works out a lot, is in his early 40s, male pattern baldness, very short hair, and the sort of beard one associates with mirror sunglasses and selfies in the car. He sits very straight and takes notes with his little pencil.
I like it. The Fellstone Mercenary Corporation has seen fit to graciously supply us with an infantry squad to provide support, consisting of Montoya Nullspring, Ripper Cross, and Block. Acer?
Block is approximately 2 meters tall. Dark-skinned, wears goggles for ballistic protection. He doesn't care if you consider it an insult. He apparently thinks you might try to shoot him in the face, and has also seems to suffer from male pattern baldness. He slouches, though, does not take notes.
Let's see if we can get 3 for 3 on the male pattern baldness. They will be joined by intelligence officer at Arvo, who I can only assume will be handling intelligence. Waffles, go ahead.
Yeah, so Arvo looks rather young, probably out of place here, like a 16-year-old human. Rather small in stature, like 5'6", like 150 pounds. Very pale skin, as well as like just very unkempt brown hair and brown eyes. The only thing that would kind of throw you off is, one, his aura, just like him being a 16-year-old, he like, while he looks out of place, he doesn't feel out of place. And 2, his left eye, his left eye shines silver in the dark, and his right eye shines gold when it's in direct sunlight.
Nice. Finally, in the unlikely event that Dr. Crenshaw has propagated an enhanced subject, we have requisitioned a collection unit to assist, consisting of Collector Radiant Fist. They motion to a tall and heavily built troll woman wearing a massive exoskeleton of myconid armor glowering in the corner, and her handler, Captain Elias Reese. They nod to a severe-looking orange goblin in a stone gray uniform. He will be acting as the operation lead. Captain, I leave the floor to you. Captain Reese steps up to the podium. Thank you, Director. I would like to make this quick, so if you'll open your provided folder, we can get started with detail. Captain Reese's voice fades into the roar of rushing water. The party spent 2 days on spider horses through the upper tunnels, 1 day on the rails across the surface, and another 3 days on foot traversing the narrow tunnels at the edge of the explored deep. Heavy torrential storms on the surface have led to extensive flooding in the deep, particularly in areas with less developed pump systems. After a grueling journey, you have finally arrived at the massive steel door of Deployment Outpost 106. It looms before you in the darkness, lit only by the faint blue glow of your torches. The water is already up to your waist and doesn't appear to be stopping anytime soon. 2 small, narrow windows are set into the wall on the right, your torchlight revealing only a cramped, empty room beyond. Captain Reese roughly bangs a fist against the glass twice. Anyone in there? Official Star Inquiry. Open the fucking door. There's no response. He turns and looks at the rest of you. Swear to fucking God if they shut down for the goddamn flooding before we get in there. Aoife? Try the overrides. Hopefully they're still up to date. And Aoife Talk, a relatively short green kobold wearing star armor and holding a carbine, steps up and opens a small panel next to the door and punches in a long series of numbers. After a brief moment, there is silence, followed by a loud grinding sound as the door slowly starts to peel open. In just a moment, let me go ahead and pull open the map. So, just for a quick reference to people who are viewing the map, this little guy right here that is blinking, as long as it pops up over there, Okay. Hey, there it is. Now I just gotta wait for Lucas to find it. No, it should be assigned. Oh. There we go. That should be it. I think you're too far over. There you are. You saw it. Okay. Really doing the mood right here for me, Lucas. Anyways, for the viewers at home, red lines, like you see here, are thick doors that are difficult, if not impossible, to just barge your way through. Doesn't necessarily mean that they're locked. It's just they're going to be a pain in the ass to break. Blue lines, like you see over here, are glass. Most of it's pretty thick, not all of it. And this little guy in the corner will be our camera. So if you see that, mostly ignore it. It's just there to give you light. And if you see any green lines, those are thinner doors, relatively easy to be broken, not necessarily unlocked either. Anyways, so the heavy steel door splits into two, sliding up and down. And as it does so, the water around you rushes forward into a large antechamber that seems to be acting as some sort of airlock. So, if you would like, you can go ahead and start moving your tokens forward. All right. So the water is spread out. It is still flooding, and it's not much less deep than it was. The door behind you starts to close. The one in front still hasn't opened. There is a large, wide window to your right. And inside, once again, it is dark. There's nobody in there when there absolutely should be. As the door finally shuts, you're left only in your torchlight. And Lucas, if you could go ahead and play the welcome message.
Welcome to Deployment Outpost 106. Warning, this facility is currently under lockdown. Warning, this facility is currently under threat from
unidentified biological
incursion. Warning, this facility is currently experiencing flooding. Warning, this facility is currently experiencing a
catastrophic system failure.
warning. This facility is
And with that, the door in front of you grinds open. The water rushes out, and as it does so, you see it mixing with the dark fluid on the floor and spreading it out. And you are now able to access the central hub. As you walk into this hallway, there is a door to your right and a door to the left. It's pretty easy to assume that the door to the right is access to that security room that you had just seen. But the door on the left is unmarked. No, I suppose I should just say it from like the angle that we're actually looking at the map. So swap those around. Anyways, but that's not what's catching your eye. As you step through, you are met with a red glow from two emergency lights. The doors behind you begin to shut, and you see several bloody handprints on them. And as you walk forward, the ground appears to be covered in these thin black tendrils, some sort of slimy plant growth, perhaps. But as you make your way into the main central chamber, you start to see the first bodies. First is just one that looks like it was slammed into the wall. Looks like a young goblin woman. Her head completely crushed. Arm twisted around in an unnatural angle. And you see another. Completely bifurcated. Can't even identify them at this point. Spread across about 10 meters. And another. Looks like a pile of loose meat at this point. There's the stench of blood and rot in the air. And he's trailing black tendrils. They're not everywhere, but there's enough. It's almost like a mold growth.
Does this place have an armory?
Probably should be one in the security office. First things first, we're gonna have to get fucking power on.
Fuck it, we need something. Can we get into the security office?
Yeah, I mean, you can certainly try. You know where the door is.
Is it locked?
As you move up to it and give it a shot, it opens up.
All right.
This one right there. Oh, yeah, you open up and the inside this main area, there is a thin blood trail. But other than that, like, the blood trail leads back to the door that you had come through. But other than that, you do not see.
All right. Well, whatever
Anything
happened
else?
here happened relatively fast. Is there an arms locker?
Not in this room, but if you, there might be in the back office area.
All right. I'm going to exercise the best skill in a horror game, delegation. Ripper, check that out.
Yeah, on it. Yeah, Ripper heads back into that office and doesn't even try the doorknob. He just kicks open the door. Ripper, by the way, is a relatively large gold dragonborn with a very, very big rifle. And he smashes open that door and steps in. He's in there for a moment while he's looking around. Would anyone else like to do anything?
I would like to address our scientist, Sienna. So, you see that shit on the floor? Those black things?
Yes, I can see that.
I know it might be difficult for you, but I want you to not grab it, not eat it, not gush all over it, because it's probably dangerous. Can you do that?
I'm working on trying to take care of that. Just
I will
need
do
to see
my
what
best.
their mitigation measures are.
And if you must, just use gloves.
Yeah, you can actually investigate this if you'd like.
Investigate that, and I will shoot you.
I
Where
mean,
precisely
like,
is it? Could you ping it again?
well, first of all, you would you'd recognize the way that it is spread. That this black substance appears to be a slime mold, which
Man.
you know are generally fairly safe. Like that, they typically aren't toxic or particularly dangerous. Still not something you'd necessarily want to eat, but just touching it usually isn't dangerous.
It should be fine. I'll poke it with a stick. Or my gun, I guess, if I don't have a stick.
I've heard that almost as many times as I've had to put down the person who said it.
And if you'd like to roll biology, you can also try to learn a little bit more about it.
Alright, let me look at my character sheet. Biology is 80.
That's why, yeah, you automatically knew that this is slime mold.
There's that at least.
Wait, we're not using Delta Green's investigate mechanics.
Oh, I mean, like, I've never played Delta Green, so I'm kind of winging it right now.
So
That's fine.
Delta Green has this has auto discovery. Basically, if you have a certain rating, you know.
Hence why they automatically knew that it was slime mold. This stuff is weird. Like it's a pretty heavy amount of growth for a place like this. That's what makes it strange. So, beyond being a slime mold, Sienna's never seen this stuff before.
That's why I'm looking in the arms locker.
Arvo up top sees this thin trail of blood. Can I see if it looks like the person got dragged or like escaped on their own free will? And can I see where it goes as well?
It looks like they were spilling blood as they were walking and possibly dragging a foot. So it's like a lot of shaky scraping across the ground. And that leads a short distance up to the end of this hall towards that goblin that looks like they were smashed into the wall.
Gotcha. Okay.
Ripper emerges from the back office from the lockers, and he is just holding a small handgun. Only thing that I find. Rest of it looks like it was pretty hastily cleared out. None of the doors were shut.
Wonderful.
Yeah,
It'd be great if you star folks actually, provided adequate tools for cleaning up your messes.
We're here, aren't we?
You're proving my point.
Yes, shouts out.
Oh,
All right,
there is no need for that.
everybody shut the fuck up. All right, Mog, Arvo, Block, and Sienna. You're with me. We're going to get the power back on. Everybody else, stay up here, secure the area, and check these bodies. If you can find Crenshaw, tell me.
Sure.
Bye.
Nice knowing you,
Certainly
Montoya.
not for the last time.
Oh, grabbed the wrong one there. So, yeah, we're now y'all just need to find the maintenance area. As you're walking through, in the middle of this central area, there is a large pit. These are fairly common throughout areas of the deep. They're ventilation shafts for cycling air. It seems like the central fan is offline though, so the air is starting to get kind of stagnant in here. As you pass this room on the right here, one that I am pinging, inside of that, you see several large tables covered in various mushrooms. Surrounding them on the walls are various cabinets with larger types of underground flora. Two of these tables seem to be myconid baths for regrowing various fungal plastics. However, in one of them, you see a human head poking out, and it looks like some of the fungal plastic has started to calcify over it. And down a little bit south here, on the right side, there is a bar. Looks like a pub area for the workers, the visiting traders, and whatnot. It's a little bit of a mess, but actually seems to be in slightly better order than the others, aside from a corpse that had just reached the door, and it looks like it had been burned. There's a large scorch mark surrounding it, and if you look closely, you can see bits of broken glass surrounding it. Over on the left side of this section appears like a small trading outpost for the various traders that would come through. And up in the northwest section seems to have been a small stable of some sort for the pack animals that the traders would have. It is currently empty, although there seems to be an exceptional amount of the slime mold in there. Real quick before we continue, though, Sienna, as you're looking at the slime mold and trying to get a better grasp of it, because it's definitely weird. You've never seen one this dark. Typically, they're brighter shades, and lots of yellows and pinks and greens. This one, it's black, and it's got an oily texture to it. And as you're looking at it, you notice, like, in a few of the thicker sections, there seems to be small spines growing out of it, almost like needles. And as you get a closer look at it, a few of them twitch slightly.
Being a good scientist but terrible Delta Green player, I would like to try to pull one out. Not with my fingers. I'm sure I have tweezers or something.
Yeah. You have a sample collection kit, sure. So, why don't you? Let's see. What can we have you roll here? I almost want to say. Why don't you roll me a dexterity with it?
All right. So I believe that'd be just ×5 is the way that works.
Yes. Yeah, if you look next to the number, you'll have it listed right there.
Ooh, an 8.
Dang, you are crushing it. Yeah, you reach down and grab it, and it seems to come out fairly easy. But unlike your usual slime mold, even when they're budding, they tend to the buds tend to be pretty soft. The stalks tend to be soft. It's all very, very soft, very easy. This is rigid and very, very firm. And as you pull out, yeah, you have a small quill, maybe 2 or 3 centimeters.
All right, I'll put that in a sample bag.
In a sample bag?
Yeah.
Okay. You now have a slime mold needle in a bag.
Definitely not dangerous slime mold needle.
I mean, so far,
Yeah.
doesn't seem to be hurting you or anything else. So, where would everybody like to start looking for access to the maintenance level?
Do we have like experience with a building of this type or any layout of it that might give us a idea?
Unfortunately, the last updated map for the sector that they had received was just the top hub, like the basic hub layout. For the sake of security, they hadn't really been updating this because the access point of the well was just such a potential lucrative asset that they didn't want to risk any detailed maps of the facility falling into other people's hands. So they've been keeping it pretty tight. Everybody's heard of the well. Not very many people have had access, and even if you do get access, say for the traders, they're pretty much limited to just this area.
Okay. Well, I have bureaucracy. Could I maybe use it to see if there's something I know about regulation, building regulation, specifications that gives us a clue?
Yep. Go ahead and roll that. If anyone else would like to take a look somewhere. Oh yeah, no, you have no idea.
Oh, clearly must be around the bar. We need this place needs to be maintained more than the rest, so it would be very accessible for maintenance. So going behind the bar.
As you go in there, Radiant Fist is already at the bar, back behind the bar. Just looking through the various bottles. She just kind of grunts at you.
I nod.
Anybody else?
Arvo's just keeping quiet behind the people with the guns for now.
Fair enough.
Block is staying quiet behind the people with bigger guns.
I thought you had the biggest gun.
No, there are a couple of people with larger rifles.
Ripper would be the one with the big rifle. Aside from that, Krell's got a shotgun. It's not as advanced as Block's, and Aoife's just got a carbine. Montoya just has a sword and some sort of crossbow.
You know what? I'm gonna hide behind Montoya because that person is either very experienced or foolhardy, and either way, that'll buy me time.
Now Montoya went over into to dig through the trader outpost.
Ah, okay. Well, in that case, I don't know. I guess just start on the other opposite end and start poking at things.
Elias has started to move down and is just opening doors.
Yep.
The thing with Captain Reese is he does not have a gun. He doesn't appear to have any weapons on him at all, and he is striding forward very, very confidently.
Good luck with that.
I mean, he seems to know where he's going, so.
Give him like a good 10-meter head start, then follow.
And he's already made his way down the hall, and he just briefly stepped into a room and has come back out. Shower area. Arvo, check that door.
Which one?
This one that I am pinging right here.
Okay. I shall. Arvo will move up to the door, see if it's unlocked.
Yes, and you unlock it and are immediately met with a small swarm of flies. And there is a corpse that looks like its stomach had been torn out. But beyond that is a tunnel that is relatively narrow and very, very utilitarian. It certainly looks like it might lead to where you're looking for.
Arvo kind of like turns around with his young face and says, "There is a dead person in here, but otherwise I think this is what we're looking for."
Okay, let's go.
Arvo will step back and let somebody else go first.
And is everybody else following?
I'll follow, I won't lead.
Captain Elias is taking the lead.
I'll follow too.
I'll follow not at the back, sort of in the safe middle part.
So, yeah, you are walking up through these narrow tunnels, and leads to a fairly small room filled with pipe fixtures and ventilation ducts. And as you're looking around these pipes, there is still more of that slime mold. It seems particularly prevalent in the more leaky pipes, which is not surprising. That stuff tends to like moisture. Well, I was taking a look around. One path back, it seems to lead to that door that was across from the security office. Another hallway off to the right leads to who knows where. It is quite dark down there. And in the back of this room is a small hatch with a ladder leading down.
Yeah, what the hell? This seems like a bad idea. Go down that hatch.
Are you taking the lead on it?
Yeah.
Alright. Blockhead sound. Everybody else following?
Arvo will follow.
Excellent. So, let's go ahead and move you down. Congratulations, y'all did it. You found the maintenance deck.
Woo.
Solve the mystery. It's time to go.
You'll emerge down into a room that is sort of similar to the last one, only the pipes are significantly larger. The air is mustier. It seems weird. A room like this seems like it should be hot and noisy, but it's just dark and cold and wet. And as you step forward next to these pipes, off to the right is a smaller door, and off to the left is a set of double doors. Oh, I might have to go through and there you go. That work? Okay, good. So, where would y'all like to head? Got a couple options here.
I would start with the smaller door.
Starting with the smaller door?
Yes.
Elias opens it. Looks like some sort of utility closet, although there is another door in the back.
We should open it.
It leads to a very short, very narrow hallway that goes to another door.
Oh, let's open this one too.
And you emerge into another set of hallways. Looks like there's some control panels. The lights on them are all red. Large pipes coming out of the top. It's hard to tell what they're meant for. A lot of this technology is very different than most of the Magitech that you're used to. It's clearly very, very ancient and strange. It looks like a lot of the parts have been reconfigured to fit with the Deep's Myconid tech. But even then, only very rudimentarily. It seems like they've done a lot of slapdashing to get everything working.
Would computer science help me here?
Sure.
Yeah, I could use a techie.
No. It was so close.
As far as you can tell, this might have something to do with air filtration. Maybe you don't know for sure.
And Arvo's like staring at it for a little while, thinks about pressing a button, and says, I am not quite sure about this one. I do think it might make the place less stuffy upstairs, but I don't quite understand it.
Yeah, it's not making any sound. You probably wagered to bet that it's powered down. In this area, there is a hallway leading up north and south. Block and Sienna, are you all following?
Yeah, sorry, I got lost where everyone went on the map.
Okay. Apologies. Yeah, it's a little bit tight. Once the lights are on, it'll be easier to figure out. So, yeah, you'll want to head north or south.
North.
As you walk up north, it leads around a short corner, and then there is a ladder leading to a hatch going up. It seems like it might just take you back the way that you came, just to a different section upstairs.
Make a note of that in my mental map. Can we go south from here?
Yeah, down south there's double doors. And through those, it's a dark room with these large pillars that are covered in grating. Inside is a lot of pipes, a lot of panels with switches, buttons, and dials. Once again, completely silent.
Can I roll science here?
Sure. Yeah, but I put in so many goddamn machines that I don't even know what they do. If he's gonna be asking me questions about what these fucking machines do, I'm be like,
This
just don't
one,
push
blah,
the buttons.
Blah, blah, blah. That's all we need to know.
Exactly. I mean, you can roll it, and I will absolutely make something up. Damn.
Really a success.
Oh, yeah, this here is actually a very complicated air conditioner.
No,
For
not yet.
specifically processing the temperatures in various different rooms. And as you go through this room, there is a small door to the south that is marked off with yellow caution tape and a set of double doors.
Caution
Shoot.
means investigate.
Just do it
Very
cautiously.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can go ahead and do that. Are you gonna poke your head in?
I was gonna put the shotgun barrel in.
Okay. You poke
Approach.
your shotgun barrel in.
I guess if it isn't grabbed right away, I can just go stick my head in.
Yeah, inside is a large amount of rubble completely blocking off the tunnel. It looks like there was a collapse at some point. And you'd wager that they probably just taped it off because they weren't planning on clearing it out anytime soon. It seems to have been this way for a while.
Sort of laziness I expect from Star.
And yeah, like beyond that, it doesn't look like anybody's been in here for a while.
I think we can rule this room out.
Double doors it is.
But yeah, you step through these doors and inside appears to be absolutely the central area for ventilation. You've got large air ducts feeding into a massive pit in the center. Once again, completely silent, completely still. Now, what seems strange in this area, especially compared to up top, where you had seen so many corpses, is that this area seems empty, almost. Well, it was a bloodbath on the top level. Down here, it feels like a tomb. So, as you explore this room further, you'll find doors to the north, the south, and the west. This seems almost similarly set up to the hub up top.
Makes sense. Okay. Proceed clockwise.
Good a plan as any.
Sure.
Okay, starting south. Then
All right, so punch down through those doors. It is a small concrete tunnel leading around a short curve. And if you punch on through those doors, you enter what is very clearly some sort of fluid reclamation area. It smells pretty fucking terrible in here. A great deal of raw sewage. Each of the pools seems to give off a faint glow. You're not 100% sure what exactly. You can assume sewage, maybe wastewater from other sources. They're all getting cycled into some sort of large plant. Garrett, I would not recommend stepping into that.
and what's the slime mold situation?
Sorry?
Is there a lot of slime mold here?
In here, Yes. It seems to be almost congregating around a lot of the pools. Potentially feeding on them, just absorbing the moisture. This certainly seems like an area where it could thrive. In this area, as you look around, since it's a fairly wide open room, and there is a little bit of a glow coming off of these pools. You can see up north there is a set of doors, and down south is a small door. And on that small door down south is what looks like a lightning bolt.
Seems promising.
Ugh, fucking finally. Alright, let's go. And Elias steps in and is pushing forward. Along the walls are several dark panels. Looks like they should be lighting up, but simply aren't. And Elias isn't even waiting for y'all this time. He's just pushing forward, steps through one door, disappearing into a very short, very narrow tunnel. And you hear another set of doors opening, and finally one last one. And this room up ahead is what you see is a very, very large central cylinder. It is covered in pipes. If you know anything about archaic power systems, you recognize this as some sort of geothermal plant. And once again, it is cold, dark, and lifeless.
Do we see anything we could use to try to turn it on?
Down to the south, there is a series of control panels.
Yeah.
And also off to the east, there's another set. So if you think you've got a relevant skill for operating one of these, feel free.
I have computer science. That's it, I think, for this.
Yeah, you can go and roll that.
Okay. Arvo will step up to the one on the east and unless stopped, begin poking and typing away.
I guess Yana will work on the one to the south then.
Garrett will hover near Sienna.
So, working together on their individual panels, Avro why do I keep calling you Avro? Arvo and Sienna managed to piece it together with a bit of thinking. Our Arvo just spots the obvious, like, okay, so in order to actually get this system to power on, we need to hit this, yada yada. Whereas Santa's like, oh, well, it's a geothermal plant, so we need to vent this and decompress that. And next thing you know, you start hearing a whirring sound deep inside of this vast cylinder in the center, and the lights start to slowly fade in, and all across the facility you are hearing the groans and shifting of things coming back online. We are shifting you onto the lit maintenance deck. I do believe everybody should be in there. Oh wow, I am good. I almost had you all in the exact right spot for that, where everybody had set their stuff. So yeah, the power is starting to come back online, and things are shifting, and as the lights are coming on in here, you look up and see just how much of this slime mold has spread across the ceiling in this room. It is thick, and well, slime mold can move fairly fast for a thing of its nature. This is almost moving quick enough that you feel like you could watch it crawl.
It's fascinating.
Yeah. Sure. All right. We're done here.
I think so.
Right.
Now let's see if the light coming on woke anything up.
Oh. All right. You start heading back through the doors the way that you came into this.
Sorry. As
Oh,
they
go
all
ahead.
begin to leave, Arvo's just gonna kind of muse and say, kind of to himself and everyone else, do you think they shut the lights off for a reason?
Well, fungus usually like the dark.
I don't think the fungus killed what is upstairs. But he'll just keep walking.
As you come into this, back into the water reclamation area, and I'm assuming you're just planning on backtracking at this point.
Yeah.
As you turn out through that door, you see a corpse sitting in front of the double doors that you had passed through earlier. It appears to be covered in that slime mold, and it looks like It almost looks like it had been dropped from the ceiling.
Full auto burst
That what?
at that corpse.
At the corpse?
Yep.
You absolutely annihilate it. You dump the mag. You blow it up. It is vaporized. For everybody wondering, Acer has an automatic shotgun. Or excuse me, a repeating shotgun. And yeah, this corpse just detonates. It didn't move or anything. Just it's a pink and black smear.
Anything that allows that stuff to concentrate, I don't want any part of.
And
But
Elias
I've been able
just
to find
immediately shouts out, "What the fuck?"
Merc got jumpy.
It's preemptive.
Sure.
Do they pay you over there to just blast dead bodies?
Yes.
Cool. Great. So we might as well just told whatever had dropped it there that we're here.
Yeah, well, I'm pretty sure that was kind of obvious already.
Well, let's not stay here much
Babysitting.
longer.
All right. Keep moving. Arms at the ready. Watch for movement. And check your fucking fire.
Arvo pulls out a stun rod.
I'll top off that magazine.
Garrett pulls his gun.
As you come into the ventilation area, the central fans in here have started to move. And from up above, in the tunnel leading up towards the hub, that little shaft, you start to hear gunfire and shouting. And then there is a scream, and something impacts the fan above you. There's a spray of red.
Well, it's over for them. Can we identify
No,
them
pick
from
up
the
the
weapons they
pace.
were carrying?
Should take cover.
Where are you taking cover and what from?
Behind block.
Repeating a theme.
You're like a big
I
wall.
feel like there's going to be a whole lot of everybody hiding behind everybody. Person will be running in a circle.
Arvo will just try to keep to the shadows as best as possible currently.
Yeah, same.
Well, I can't hide because someone is skylighting me from behind. I guess just keep going.
Yeah, Elias is pushing forward. It seems like he might be heading towards that secondary access point that y'all had seen.
If he's going to that one, I'm going to the other one.
You're splitting off from Elias?
Yes.
Okay. Is anybody else?
Oh no, my human shield.
I think Arvo would follow Elias.
So, Arva's following Elias.
Following Elias,
Sienna's sticking with the biggest group.
Alright, so Block is running off alone.
All right.
Block, which way are you heading? Are you going up north?
Yeah.
Okay. Block is heading up north. So let's go ahead and you know what? Let's follow Block for just a second. Block, you move up through this door, and there is some sort of like a pillar of machine in front of you. A lot of knobs, a lot of buttons, all that. It doesn't seem particularly interesting to you. Off to the east is a tunnel, and there is a lot of that slime mold in here. Seems like there's several large cracks in the walls where it is feeding out of. And since it's so thick, you are in the thicker sections, you are seeing fairly good sized spines and needles. Maybe between 3 and 6 inches long.
All right. Join the rest of the group.
Okay, so you're not walking through that?
Hell no.
Okay. Well, you have fallen behind because they were not waiting for you.
Yep.
Elias wasn't watching you. He was not babysitting you. You're an adult. So, yeah.
Do we have comms with the group?
No, actually, you don't. There's not really a decent method of group communication like that. There's ways of sending messages and whatnot. It's not really practical for like small group conferencing in a localized area, though. Not quite yet, anyways.
I'm sure they'll work that out.
Like there are means. It's not really something that a Fellstone or Star are going to want to spend money on. Anyways, if you like, you can head up through that door. Do you plan on stopping and bothering with the air conditioning?
No.
Okay. So you head up through there, pass through that other set of doors, and round the corner, pass by these, the lights are on, there's clearly machinations happening in there, and as you are approaching this corner, there is a plop, like almost like a pack, like flesh hidden concrete.
I have to
And
say that when Block goes past the air conditioning, he is going to jam all of the thermostats as far down as they can go.
try and cool down the area.
Yeah.
Okay. And as you're approaching that corner, you hear that smack of flesh hitting the ground. Sounds like somebody just fell down the shaft. And you see up around that corner, you see on the ground is Aoife Talk, laying flat. She is covered in blood, Her head is spun 180 degrees around, and it looks like she'd been smeared with the slime mold. And as you're looking at her, the mold seems to rapidly spread up her face, forming 4 vertical lines.
Oh no.
And from these lines, spines start to grow out of them. They twitch and rattle against each other. It almost sounds like a rattlesnake. And then her head snaps and turns to face in your direction. Her arm juts into the air, and then, almost like being pulled like a marionette, she stands up. And I think that's where we're going to end it tonight.
Oh dear.
So, did we have fun? Are we ready for the action terror section?
Oh,
I
no.
feel like you read my obsession with mycology, read up on that before this game. I'm really liking it.
So yeah, that's where we're at. Shit's happening upstairs. Eva's dead. At least one other person's dead, unless it was a corpse that got tossed into the fan.
Things are gonna get messy.
So let's just go ahead and move into various plugs and recommendations. I'll go ahead and start. You can find us over at Ballad of the Seven Dice on the Twitter. And you can find me at Copper Harpy on Twitter also. It is Copper as in the metal, Harpy as in the bird monster. We will be here again in 2 weeks. Correct me if I am wrong, Lucas. That'll be on the 28th, Monday at 7 p.m. Central. And okay, thank you. For my recommendation, I am going to recommend checking out the movie Splinter, which is totally where I stole these monster designs from. Although, to be fair, not the only thing in here. Megan, go ahead.
All right. Hi, I'm Megan. I was playing Sienna. You can find me on Twitter at Curium, like the element 247. I also run a podcast that Acer's on as well called The Amber Clave, which is a Numenera actual play. And actually, Lucas has done all of our editing on the last season, so it sounds really amazing. I'll let Acer talk about our other podcast. But if I were to make a recommendation, since we are streaming this, I'm going to go with 2020's The Host, which is a horror movie that they filmed right after the pandemic started. So it's all done on Zoom, and it's very well done.
Okay, Acer.
I'm Acer, and I, with Megan, work on the Redacted Files podcast, which has been a bit hit and miss over the last couple of months, or actually, I guess, years, with the pandemic and all. But you can find a couple hundred actual plays at theredactedfiles.com. As far as my social media presence, I think you can find me on Acer_Tolentino on Twitter, ASERTOLENTINO. Although I tweet about once a week or so. And recommendation-wise, the last novel in the Expanse series just came out recently. Leviathan Falls. Check it out. He was nice.
Okay, and Luca.
I'm Luca. You can find me on Super Idols RPG. And and also check out the March Madness musical coming out this Friday on the Moon Harbor Podcast YouTube channel, because it's gonna be cool, and I have a small part in it.
Okay. And finally, Waffles.
Whoop, I missed my push to talk. Hi, I'm Waffles from Waffles Maple Syrup. You can find Waffles Maple Syrup basically anywhere that you look up the word Waffles Maple Syrup with one word. We also have a website. You can get everywhere from there. On Tuesdays, we play Starfinder. I GM that. It's called Journeys Adrift. That's every Tuesday at 8 o'clock. Every other Thursday, we play Outcast and Outclass, which is Pathfinder 2E. That show has really taken off. A lot of people seem to like it, so I suggest looking at that. It's on YouTube and everything. We're like 8 episodes in, so it's pretty easy to catch up. For my recommendation, because of all the awards that just won and I loved it when I watched it, I'm going to say, if you haven't seen it, check out Arcane. The League of Legends show. If you don't like League of Legends, that's fine. My significant other doesn't like it at all, and still love the show, so go check it out.
I've heard good things about it. I would also like to thank Lucas, who's been handling the camera and the background audio. So thank you very much, Lucas. If you'd like to recommend anything, feel free to poke your head in.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take that silence as a no.
Here we go. Why
There
don't
you
we go
are.
ahead? Tomorrow, on the same channel here, Battle of the Seven Dice, we are playing with
thank
Rise
you.
of Nyarlathotep, featuring Eve, CK.
Yeah, I should probably recommend the show that I'm actually in instead of a random movie.
And I have a whiny puppy that wants to go outside, so I will turn it back to you.
Okay. Well, I think that about does it for us tonight. So I look forward to seeing you here in 2 weeks. That is on the 28th, 7 p.m. Central, for episode 2 of Magnum Opus, where we'll be doing a little bit more than getting lost in tunnels and questioning air conditioners. So y'all have a good night, and we will see you around. Bye.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.